Hello, template 1 is on volume and surface area of a prism. So our learning standard is that we can calculate the surface area for prisms, and we're also going to know and apply volume formulas for prisms as well. Because you are watching the notes, we're going to skip this experiment 1, and we're going to just jump right into our notes for today. So we're going to start with prisms, and prisms are made up of polygons, and two of them, called the bases, are the same. And parallel with each other. So in the example to the right, this is a hexagonal polygon because it has two hexagon bases, prism. And then it's connected by polygons as well. Another name for this is it is a type of polyhedron because it has straight edges. So polyhedrons have to have all straight edges. And for these, there are going to be two different types of prisms that we're going to work with. One is a right prism, and this is just an example of a right rectangular prism. And that means it's standing straight up and down. And the second type we're going to be working with is an oblique prism, and this is an example of an oblique triangular prism. This one you'll notice is a little bit slanted, but our height still has to be the distance for how tall it is. So it's kind of like if you're standing straight up and down, this would be your height when you're standing straight up and down, but if you lean a little bit, you're going to get shorter, and we're going to use that height if you are leaning. So for surface area, there are two different formulas, and the one that we are going to be using is this first one. So we're not even going to worry about the second one, but our surface area is going to be 2 times B plus pH, and this stands for 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter of the base times the height, and this is talking about the height of the prism, which is the distance between the two bases. All right, so that's what the height we were talking about. The volume formula is the area of the base times the height, and again, this is the height of the prism, which is the distance between the bases. So let's look at this first example. They want us to find the surface area and the volume of the prism below. So if we start with the surface area, we need to know what the area of the base is, the perimeter of the base, and the height of the prism. So we can start identifying those by looking at our shape. The perimeter is going to be the distance all the way around the shape. That is our base, which is a triangle. So we would take 6 times 3, and that's going to give us our perimeter of 18. Our height is the distance between the two bases of the triangles, which in this case is 8. Now we can find the area of the base. Our base is a triangle, which means the area of that is going to be 1/2 the base length, which is 6, times the height of the triangle. So we don't know that yet, but we can figure it out. So we can draw in our angle bisector, or our altitude, kind of. This would cut that side in half, making this 3. And then we can use Pythagorean theorem to find the height. Okay, so then you just plug in these values and you solve. We get 36 equals 9 plus h squared. Subtract that on both sides, and we get 27 equals h squared. And because this isn't our final answer, we're going to leave this as a square root. So this is going to be times the square root of 27. So the area of our base is going to be 3 square roots of 27. And we got the 3 by just multiplying the 1/2 and 6 together. Now that we have all of our values, we just plug that into our formula. So we're going to take this times 3 square roots of 27. The perimeter was 18 times our height of 8. And this can all just be typed directly into your calculator, and then you can round your final answer to 1 decimal point. So 2 parentheses 3 square root 27 plus 18 times 8. And one thing when you're typing into your calculator, you want to make sure you don't forget this plus sign. A lot of times that's the biggest mistake I see. So our surface area is about 175.2, and this is area, so it's going to be inches squared. Okay, so then next we can find the volume, and luckily for us, we already have all the information because we know what the base area is, which was 3 square roots of 27, and we know the height of the prism is 8. So again, we just type this into our calculator, and we can round to 1 decimal point. And because this is volume, you would do inches cubed. So our next example, we're going to find the surface area and volume of a right rectangular prism with a height of 5. So we're going to start by drawing it. And when you draw these, you want to use dashed lines for the ones in the back because you can't actually see these. Okay, so we know that the height is 5 back here. The length is 11 feet. So that one would be here. And the width is 4 feet. So again, our surface area formula is 2 base plus perimeter times height. So if we use this bottom as our base, we're going to take 11 times 4 to get our area of our base. So we're going to have 2 times 44 plus, we have to find our perimeter. We can take 4 plus 11 plus 4 plus 11, and that'll give us 30. And we already know our height is 5. And again, we can plug that into our calculator, times 5, and we'll get 238, and this one is in feet squared. Then we should know everything for our volume as well. So our volume is going to be the area of the base times our height. We found the area of the base was 44, and we got that by taking 4 times 11. And then we would take that times our height of 5. And that'll give us 220, and this one was again feet, so it's going to be feet cubed. All right. Our last one, example 3, this one we are going to calculate the surface area and volume of the polyhedron below. And we're going to show our work. So surface area is 2 times base plus the perimeter times height. So we have to figure out what all of these equal. If we start with the base, it is a regular polygon, and the formula for that is 1/2 a times p. So they gave us our apothem was 2.8, so we're going to do 1/2 2.8 multiplied by the perimeter, and the side length is 4. So to find the perimeter, we're going to take 4 times the number of sides, which is 5. So our perimeter is 20. So we can type that into our calculator. Remember, 1/2 is 0.5. So when we type that in, we're going to get 28. So for our surface area, we know what our base is 28. We did find the perimeter already because we needed it to find the area of the base. And our height is going to be 6. So then we just plug that all in. 2 times 28 plus 20 times 6. We're going to get the surface area of 176 meters squared. And again, our volume is pretty easy because we already found all of our values we need. So we know the base area is 28, and we know the height is 6. So we're just going to multiply those two together, and we're going to get 168 meters cubed. And that's our answer. Let me know if you have any questions.